This is, as you say, a celebration of the most cherished American tradition, the freedom to speak out in pursuit of justice, not just justice for ourselves, but for all peoples of the planet. I've watched the development of some of your organizations through the years as you have evolved from being victims fleeing persecution to protagonists, activists in a movement to deliver the people of Vietnam, Burma, China, and other countries from arbitrary totalitarian treatment. Recently, the Congress voted to pass two bills, House Resolution 484 and House Resolution 1410, to enhance the United States efforts to promote media, religious, and other civil liberties in Vietnam, while communicating our concern and our desire to protect the courageous advocates for freedom who risk everything to change their country for the better. Many of the people in this gathering today, such as Dr. Nguyen, were instrumental in ensuring the passage of these bills. And this week, we welcomed Aung San Suu Kyi to our Congress and awarded her the Congressional Gold Medal. It was heartwarming to be at the ceremony in the Capitol when she received it. Now, these two events are connected. Burma, I actually prefer to call it Burma rather than Myanmar. While far from a democracy, has at long last decided that they are not, that it is not in their best interest really to let the fearful behavior of a closed authoritarian system continue to isolate their country. In Burma, as in Vietnam, Laos, and China, destructive, repressive policies are an outgrowth of authoritarian regimes, and that must change. But we in the Congress can't advance the cause of freedom in Asia or anywhere else simply by words and threats and sanctions alone. The United States is a powerful country, but we are one of many players in that region, and we must respect the other countries of that region. But in doing so, we must hold to our principles and values. I do support the Obama administration's new focus on Asia, because only through the involvement of the United States in Asia be integrated more effectively in the search for solutions to global problems. From national security to the economy, to climate change, we need solutions that integrate Asia into the world economy and the global society. But progress begins with the recognition of basic human rights, and that must be the foundation of all policy. The 21st century will be the Asia-Pacific century. The Asia-Pacific nations make up more than half of the global economy, but they cannot reach their full potential while they continue to restrict their people's freedoms. Now, that reality will eventually dawn even on the totalitarian communist regimes. The United States, with your help, seeks wise policies that build alliances based on cooperation, but also insisting upon freedom and opportunity. Now, the area where we live is the strongest metropolitan economy in the country today. Unemployment is half the national average. And one of the reasons, beyond the fact that the federal government is our largest employer, is the high proportion of immigrants from other countries who appreciate the free enterprise opportunity to be able to start up a business, to stand up, to speak out, and to create an even better life for their children. Thank you for being part of that effort. Thank you for the opportunity to join you today.